Okay, we are live, finally. It's 2 p.m. in Miami. We're a little bit late because this is our first live with my wife. Let me see, I need to do something.
How are you today? Happy Friday.
Marriage, we're gonna talk about marriage, family, and finance. Finance, there you go. And let me see here. How do we do this one right here? Incoming. There you go. Perfect. Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you? Say hello, baby.
Hello, hello.
So, it's gonna be our first live together because we never do lives together, right? Have you done a live?
Or separate. I think I've done like one.
Yeah? When?
During COVID.
Oh, yeah, you used to do a lot of lives. No, you actually used to do a lot of lives.
Oh yeah, fitness-wise.
She used to be a lot of fitness lives. So we have, type in the chat, where are you joining us from? And if you prefer for us to speak English or?
Spanish.
Spanish, right.
Español.
Español. So we have quite a few people. Hello. So go ahead and type in the chat. Pero we'll do it English and Spanish, right? We'll mix it up. So let's talk about marriage, because I think that's your favorite topic. Let's talk about marriage.
Is it really?
Yeah, of course it is. It's so cool to do this thing with your wife for the first time, because I'm okay, but she seems to be a little bit nervous. I don't know why. I don't understand why. Hello. Norway, English. Okay, perfect. Look, they're answering. So English. So tell us, how is it to be married with an entrepreneur? Let's talk about that. I think that's a good question, right? What is it to be married to an entrepreneur?
How is it?
What is it? How does it feel? Okay, go ahead. She's gonna correct me my English today, but let's go.
Definitely I would say starting off with it's a blessing. Definitely keeps me on my toes. I don't know what else to say.
What else?
It has its perks, but it also has its challenges. But I think overall we've done pretty well for this past, on Monday will be 13 years.
Woo!
It's been 13 years of pure.
And how does that feel to you?
I have God in my life. It's my first thing that keeps me going. And that's what keeps me very at peace and at ease, even in the hard times.
Okay, let's see.
You're making me do faces I'm not supposed to make, right?
There we go.
These are the things a little bit difficult. He can't just focus.
There we go. Now we're live, twice, together. Double the trouble. So I'm asking the question. If you guys have any questions about what is it to be, live with an entrepreneur, how do we handle the girls? How do we handle the finances? I think that's a tough one when you make money, right? That there's always a constant fight, whether somebody's spending more money than others, or whether, I have to tell her not to spend so much money. And I think that's a big one in a marriage, right? What do you think about that?
It's a big one in our marriage.
It's definitely a big one in our marriage. Always talking about making sure somebody doesn't spend more than another, or just kind of like keep it, how do we say, keep it balanced?
Yeah, it's not about who spends more, because definitely that's not our case.
We know who spends the most, so that's why it's not that case with us.
Correct. You should know, guys. It's not me. But definitely what it's Mr. Edwin as the entrepreneur and the number guy, I guess we can call him. He gets more stressed in certain times when the numbers become smaller. So he releases his stress, and that's when it becomes kind of like overwhelming and exhausting. But overall, when it comes to me, I guess money doesn't really cause me a lot of stress. If I know we have it, we spend. If I know we can't, we need to be just more reserved, then I do it. I mean, that's how I see it. Trying to learn from me.
So now, it's pretty much like overall we're very blessed, so we're happy for that. But because I do make some crazy investments at times, there's moments that they don't pay off like right away or right at the moment. So those moments that they don't pay off, that we're like on that waiting period until let's see when that investment, that huge investment, that crazy investment that I made pays off, we have to be more conservative. So I'm used to having X amount on the bank account and seeing certain things. And when I don't see those things, of course I start stressing because, I have to look out after the family, and I like to maintain a certain lifestyle. So I think that's what makes it hard. Like, for us to keep the lifestyle, right? Like, do you remember like back in the day, at the beginning when I wasn't making money, and I told you, it's like, oh my God, we're not making money. What are we gonna do?
Look at me through here.
I could look at you. Oh, that's right. I could look at you. Do you remember that time?
Yes.
What did I say? What did you say? So like back in the day, like 2011.
Edwin was like, "Oh, I'm gonna retire," and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna retire," and I said, "Okay, that's fine."
No, I'm talking about when I wasn't making money. That was prior, way before that. When you were just sell the house and moving to some business model.
I just said, as long as we're together, we have health. That's all that matters. So let's move to a 1-bedroom apartment, which never happened, but
why didn't it happen?
You made it happen.
So the reason I made it happen is like when you get into those moments, those tight, tough situations financially, it's like, you have to bring out the need. And it's the need of continuing having the same lifestyle or surviving or like in a survival mode, right? And those are the moments that we really have to prioritize some things and we have to sacrifice some other things in our life. And it's time with our significant other to be able to get on the grind a little bit deeper and find better opportunities to be able to get out of the road instead of going backwards and, living a simpler life or something like that, if you want to call it that way. No?
Yes, I mean, in different times, you just realize what's more important. In a balance, in a line, and you continue going things. You just have to make sure that you can just move with the way you. Yeah. But what I like about this is it's going to be recorded where he says he makes the big investments. So if they don't go well, he cannot look at me with frustration. And that's when my problem happens. When he wants to be like, don't stop buying so much organic food, or you're spending too much on this. And then I'm like, what are you, this makes no sense. Literally, I already know he's going crazy because something happened with the account and I just ignore him because he's not going to give you that.
That's there I get ignored. Look at that. No, how many of you feel ignored at times in your life? Type in the chat me, because I want to know how many guys feel ignored by their wives sometimes, especially when you really try to make sure the finances are good at home, right? That's crazy. I can't believe that. So that's a little bit of a marriage. It's our first life together.
Yes.
And we don't know what we're doing today because it's our first life. So we're going to talk about marriage, family, and finance. So if you like this so far, if you think it's funny, if you like it, if you're enjoying it, make sure you share this video with other people, with other friends. But, little by little, you are going to get to learn some things because we've been 13 years together. We have 2 amazing girls. I have an amazing wife. But it's hard to deal with all of them. So, it's how do you learn how to deal with that? And that's probably what you get from me. And the same thing for her, right? What is it to live with an entrepreneur or somebody that's always thinking about business and growing and taking over the world, right?
That's right.
How is that?
Well, it's kind of crazy how he thinks that it's hard to deal with us, and we all say it's hard to deal with him. But, it's good. I wouldn't change it. If that's what you're asking.
No, that's not what I'm asking. But if that's what you're thinking, that's good, right? If that's what you're thinking, that's good. And from there on, I think things will get a lot better. And you'll see. Next week, you'll see we'll be smoother. We'll be
prepared. Because he asked me to do this. And I'm like, yeah, but I figured he would be ready. Yeah. And he was not. And then he complains about me.
But one of the things that you got to learn is that sometimes we cannot wait until everything is perfect. We just have to do it. Take action, get it done, because that's how everything starts. If we always wait for the perfect moment, if we wait for the perfect woman, I wouldn't be married. If I wouldn't be waiting for the perfect moment
you found your perfect woman
to have kids, I wouldn't have kids right now. So, sometimes you just got to take action and just do it. Get it done, right? And
that's right.
Along the way, we'll figure things out. That's how we do things, We seek help, we figure things out, we go to therapy.
Very pro therapy.
Very pro. She's very pro therapy. I am.
Once in a while, you need to bring in that third person that is just gonna say it straight, to him or to me. And you just need that. You need that refresher. And now that we're even in this, even as parents, we strive to be the best parents that we can, but we're not perfect. We don't have all the answers at all times. So in this situation, I have an 11-year-old, a 10-year-old, and it was time to kind of get a little bit of parenting coaching, and we're doing that now. And yes, there's not enough time sometimes in the day, especially with his busy schedule. But just like work is very important, the household and the family is very important as well. And there's one thing that Edwin's good at, and if he's not, I come in to tweak. And it's we need to bring the balance for both because, you can have a very successful business, but, be lonely, have, a horrible family situation and toxic in general. Or you can have like a great family and then be horrible in finances. And so you just need a balance in both at the end of the day.
Yeah, so you definitely need to seek some therapy sometimes. And the good thing is like, sometimes I like going to therapy because then the therapist agrees with me and then she feels offended and she gets mad at the therapist. And it goes vice versa, right? It goes both ways. But at the end of the day, I think we get the point across because we have a third party like intervening and figuring out a way where we could both comprehend the same thing that we're trying to tell each other, that it doesn't happen at times.
And definitely a lot of prayer. A lot of prayer comes from my way.
Especially with her, yeah. God.
No, I pray a lot for him because it's not always that easy.
So go ahead and type in the chat. If you have any questions, I would love to see what questions you guys have. Type in the chat.
Definitely give him ideas because it's our anniversary on Monday and I don't think there's much planned, which he's lacked really bad, personal planning. So give him some tips and ideas, people.
Okay, let's see here. Also, we have a lot of people saying hello, which is nice. But why don't you just type in there if you have any questions and where are you joining us from? It would be nice to see where you're joining from and what questions you have. Hey, Josh, hey, Michael, welcome. Everybody, Nicholas, Mel, oh, nice. Hey, Princess. And everybody else here, Lady.
Oh, Lola.
Michael. Yeah? Oh, nice. Awesome.
I miss her.
Yeah. So how's life in Colombia? How's life in Colombia so far?
Oh, great.
Yeah. What do you miss about the U.S.?
My sister. If she sees this, she would kill me. I would say my sister. I would definitely say my sister and friends. But overall, I just God prepared us for this move, and because of that, I could say that I don't miss anything besides my sister.
What's your one favorite thing of Colombia so far?
There's a lot, but one of them definitely is to see my girls go out in the complex and play with their friends without me hovering.
Being a helicopter man, like they call us. They call us helicopter parents.
Yes.
They're like in the preteen stage where they try to make us think that we're helicopter parents. We're not. We're drone parents. That's what we're drone parents. I think it's easier to move around than a helicopter. But yeah, guys, thank you.
Yours?
Yeah.
No way. What's yours?
Oh, mine. It's actually that. See them play and have fun, just like I used to do when I was a little kid. Growing up in Ecuador, I'll be out on the street playing with my friends, riding bicycle, doing crazy things. And I love to see that when my kids doing the same thing, being out and about, because I know like in the United States, especially where we're from, I don't know, maybe some other states, but in Miami, like we didn't have that. We didn't have our kids being able to go out there and play on the streets and just have fun with other kids.
But we didn't live in a private complex.
But when we did, it still didn't happen.
Yeah.
That's my. So yeah, that's one of the things that I like. But thank you for joining us today on this short live. We'll make sure that we'll come back to you next week and we'll talk about more about life, marriage, finances, and business. So stay tuned. Have a great day.
Have a good one. Bye.